Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It is Gumchu, and it's a pleasure to see you. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are going, "Where is your beard?" Well, long story short, the feathers on my face were causing a lot of discomfort for my skin, um, nourishing my skin, doing charcoal cleansing, washing my beard and whatnot. Everything was damaging my skin, and it also got really hard to participate in maintaining a healthy looking face. Um, and it doesn't help because of my genetics. I typically have very oily skin, and I started growing a fungal skin sort of condition on my face. And I noticed as soon as I shaved it, my skin was able to breathe a lot better. It feels very abnormal to say this because I'm Middle Eastern and we're known to have facial hair and quite thick hair and whatnot. But um, I guess as I'm getting older, I'm growing a lot more vulnerable to these things because I've had this skin fungal condition. And I hate to sound vulnerable here, but I've had this condition for quite a while. Um, and it's really peculiar. Um, and I think it started even more. I think it spiked up when I became a lot more active. Um, Sweating, the oil production on my skin, and I have very porous skin, so cysts and acne was always a big issue for me. Not so much on my face, but in sensitive areas. And I think over time, you know, cleansing myself too much, or um, I guess um, exposing my skin to a lot of products made it a lot more sensitive over time. And it became a lot more frustrating. I just wanted to feel less irritated. I don't know. Long story short, I got rid of the facial hair. I got a little scruff, but I kept the long hair though. So I don't know. So how are you all doing today? Well, I hope. I was going to do a show and tell. You see, my last video, which I think was posted last night or something, I talked openly about my project car. And with it being gone, part of me feels relieved, but another part of me feels very disheartened because that project's been with me for a very long time. But on the other hand, it makes a lot of sense to let go of a project like that, given my living circumstances as of right now. I'm in no position to acquire a vehicle of that size and a vehicle that's going to require a lot of shop space and resources, attention, maintenance. The more modified and unique something becomes, it requires much more tedious attention. I can go on about it, and I knew at some point that this project was not going to be with me for ever. When it initially broke down, before I got it back up to run again, I was intending of parting things and getting rid of it that way, but somebody was willing to conduct a transaction of something of similar value and convenience for me will be given to me for the project car, which was inconvenient for me. And thus, it's 2 wheels. And as you may not know, I love motorcycles. I love riding motorcycles. We got helmets on display. And with the motorcycle, I got numerous additional parts that I wanted to show off to you. But I must add that these additional parts, a lot of them are in the car still. But all I got in the house right now is my exhaust system. Now, you may be wondering, what's an exhaust system? Or how does it benefit you? What's the big deal? Why is it worth so much money? Well, in a vehicle, combustion engines in particular, when the engine is breathing, it needs air, needs fuel, and it needs ignition or spark. Once combustion takes place in the engine, pressurized gases are created, which need to be exported away. In naturally aspirated engines, right? If it's a combustible engine with something called a forced induction system, it may recirculate a lot of those gases, creating pressure and spinning things like turbines to create more power. Right? That was one of the applications I'd use in my project car that I just got rid of. But for the motorcycle, it's just naturally aspirated, which means there's no forced induction system. And now, the exhaust system, also known as the hot side of piping. Cold side would just be the air going in, and the hot side would be the air going out. Typically. Now, I'm not a genius, but when that combustion takes place and the gases are trying to escape, it goes through a system called an exhaust system. Now, the exhaust system I'm presenting to you today is a dual exhaust system. Made of stainless steel. As such, it's a little filthy and I apologize. And what would happen is, from the exhaust chamber of the combustion engine, there will be tubes, part of the exhaust called the exhaust manifold, or the header, or headers, depending on the engine size. In this particular engine, it is a inline 4, which means it's a 4-cylinder, 4 pistons rather, and when exhaust gas chamber fills up with air and gas pressure comes out of the header, and it runs all underneath the bike, and it comes out through this When it comes out, it goes through something called a muffler on a motorcycle. Now you see, a motorcycle I have, it's a race-inspired motorcycle, which means either it's running direct exhaust system, where there's no catalytic converter, no resonator. Usually it's just a straight exhaust. And the muffler, in this instance, creates back pressure to help with low end power, so it helps you accelerate. And the muffler muffles the sound, and the exhaust gas is going through. And here is the exhaust system in the motorcycle. So it would go in like that, right? And gases are then exerted out with the flow of the exhaust. Now, this particular brand of exhaust system is called a Yoshimura. Made in America, US of A. Very notorious for being excellent sounding exhaust systems and great for performance. Lightweight applications, so you can save some weight on your motorcycle. As you can tell, it's made with a exterior casing of carbon fiber. Now, I don't think this is an entire genuine carbon fiber material. It might just be for looks. So I do digress on my knowledge with that. But the Yoshimuras are known to have a very high decibel sounding exhaust note, so it may not be for everybody. Yoshimura. Research and Development of America Incorporated, US of A. Says this product is designed for use on closed course competition motorcycles only and does not conform to US EPA noise emission standards. Use on motorcycles subject to EPA noise regulations constitutes tampering and is a violation of federal law unless it can be shown that such use does not cause the motorcycle to exceed application federal standards. Now, like I said, mine's a dual exhaust, which means I not only have one, but I have two. So I have two Yoshimura mufflers. Now, if you're ever curious to know how the inside looks like, let's try this out. See all those little dots or whatnot? That's all there to give the exhaust a different and intriguing note of performance. And that's on both. However, when looking at the other part of the exhaust, like this, it is unfortunately not as entertaining to see, as it's just a empty pipe which transfers all the exhaust gases out the muffler. Now this particular, I apologize. This particular exhaust system is supposed to benefit the motorcycle in being able to exert gases faster at a greater velocity, increasing flow, which ends up performing in a benefit of the motorcycle to gain higher end power. Now, if there were some restrictions throughout the exhaust system, i.e. a catalytic converter, a resonator, or bigger and beefier mufflers, we could, in theory, state that a greater back pressure means greater low end power, which could mean greater torque, right? Now, that's what a lot of people are aiming for in performance. They try to get good torque, they try to get good horsepower. And depending on the configuration of their set engine or their application of use and whatnot, modifications, etc., they may have goals in attaining higher end power or low end power or mid-range power or all of the above. Now, one might ask, if I get an exhaust system for my car, for my motorcycle, or ATV, or whatever it might be, does it just work instantaneously? Give or take, yes and no. To get the full potential, you would need to get your vehicle tuned, configured, or reflashed. Meaning, the computer on board with your system of your vehicle will need to know and learn how to perform better with the greater flow of gases in your vehicle. Now, if you have a muffler, not very required, not very necessary rather, but if it's an entire exhaust system, or if you're removing a significant part of your exhaust system, or you're modifying a significant part like this, then it would be best to get something taken a look at to get your vehicle running in harmony with your added exhaust system. So for my vehicle, the motorcycle I got is a 2010 Kawasaki Ninja. It's a ZX14. It's a 1400 and odd numbered cc, so it's a pretty big motorcycle. And it's already been tuned with this exhaust system. The only reason why it's off is because the previous one was either damaged, and this was the newest one they got back from warranty, and in the time they have just a simple exhaust system on the bike. Anyways, I digress. This was my show and tell in a sense. It'd be really cool to go over some other things that I might find interesting to show you all. But you can probably understand how excited I am to have this bike. But we're still dealing with old man winter at this given time. So I'm very excited to get this thing on the road. Excited to get it going. Have a lot of plans for it. But I try not to get my hopes up for these things, because sometimes when I'm eager to get on the road, I tend to find that the rest of the days until those days of being able to ride again go by a lot slower. If you know, you know. Well, if you all found this interesting, let me know in the comment section below. And if not, that's completely fine. But I'd like to hear your opinions of the stuff we went over today. And if you found it interesting, or if you want to learn more, or if you had questions, whatever it might be. Or just send me requests of what you want me to do next. But anyways, you guys, this is Gumchu out. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. You matter. Go make a difference in the world for me today. And if you haven't fallen asleep just yet, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, comment, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Toodaloo.